For a couple of weeks now, I have been contemplating and going back and forth on whether or not I should text my ex-wife. It was going on, 3 months? Let me see, March. Okay, yeah, so 3 months of no contact, and the no contact, I would say it was mutual, I guess. I mean, in all reality, Max ended up finishing her degree. For the last few years of our relationship, she was pursuing her degree, and she finally finished late winter of 2025. And she sent me a text while I was at work, and she was just pretty much like a simple text. All it read was, "I graduate today." And since I was at work, I didn't want to forget, because I knew that it was a big moment. And at this point in time, we weren't not talking. This may have actually been 3 weeks, maybe 2 weeks after I posted the video initially, finally talking about my marriage ending and me still being heartbroken and being like, oh my God, they're moving on, and me still figuring things out. It was around that time. But I'm at work. I sent a quick reply because I know that this is a big day, and I just pretty much just let her know, congratulations. I've always believed in you before the degree, and good luck in your future endeavors. Simple, That text message was never supposed to be, a farewell message. I don't know if it was perceived that way, but I never got a text message back after that. I never got a, thank you, or, and so I was just kind of like, oh. And for the past few months, I've intentionally not texted back because she didn't text back. And looking back on it, I was like, there came a time where I was just like, gotta swallow your pride and understand or realize that was probably a busy day. Maybe so much was going on in that day that, she forgot to text back, or maybe, I'm to the point where it's you gotta stop making a problem out of everything, you gotta just understand that people have lives to live, and sometimes you're not a priority on their list, and at the end of the day, that just is what it is. There are many people who are not a top priority on my day-to-day, and if they send me a text message, I'm looking to show you my phone, but I'm actually filming on it. But yeah, I was just gonna show you all the red little bubble that shows you how many messages are in my text message inbox, but that doesn't matter. The point is, I came to realize that I wanted my hair done, and I've been working at a job for since August, and I would only been able to afford to get my hair done, maybe twice. I think it was actually once. I only remember getting my hair done once. And I was just like, who wants to work for a workplace that doesn't pay them enough to be able to afford to go, look nice and afford to look presentable for the job, that they're working. In this entire school year working at the school, I was not able to afford to make myself look presentable for the day-to-day job. I literally would just put my hair up into a ponytail bun or whatever, how I would film my videos. That's literally the hairstyle I would wear to work. So it came to the point where I was just like, I'm gonna put my pride aside, and I was, talking to my ex-husband as well, and I was just like, I'm gonna ask her if she could do my hair. I haven't talked to her in a while, but the worst she could say is no. And like I said, we didn't end on bad terms or anything. There was no animosity or anything like that. So at the end of the day, I was only preventing myself from, continuing to have a family ship, by choosing not to speak to someone just because they didn't respond. Get over yourself, right? Sometimes you have to, I'm so fucking tired of these snacks. Okay. we'll get to that later. We'll get to that in a second. But I let my ex-husband know that I would probably be reaching out to her, and he was even like, hey, if she doesn't respond, like, I could do your hair too. I came to the conclusion that it was logical, or more logical, for me to put some money in my ex-wife's hands, which she was probably going to spend on our child anyway, instead of spending upwards of $60+ on, this is a lot of hair, and people charge, we charge a lot, and the longer my hair gets, the more money it costs to get it done. I had to be real with myself. Like, I know this woman, I married her, right? So I'm sure that in the same ways that I needed to, remove myself and cease communication for a while, I'm pretty sure she had very much so her own reasons as well. Like, we were both adjusting to becoming single moms, going from a household where your income is not the only income, or like regardless of who's the breadwinner in the relationship, when you go from having multiple incomes and just yours, that's like an adjustment. We were dealing with life, and even like if you've watched previous videos where I talk about this relationship, like, we did not end on bad terms. Our relationship was over well before we actually moved out of state and moved away from each other and started living our lives separately. At the end of the day, I swallowed my pride and I just went for it, and I sent her a text message, told her good morning, asked how she was doing, and she responded. Didn't make anything out of it, just, kept it real and let her know, hey, I was wondering if you could do my hair. The answer was sure. We set it up and I went over to get my hair done. I hadn't seen her in months, but I hadn't seen her, hadn't talked to her in months. Went, got my hair done. Our boys, they see each other more often than we see each other. They have the same dad, but they got to chill, bicker, do what siblings do, and everything was gravy. The situation just, reiterated a life lesson that I've been learning, is to, get out of your own way and stop blocking your own blessings. A lot of what we make things out to be aren't really what it seems, and a lot of it is instilled out of fear and insecurities. Of course, going through a season where I'm healing hurt, where I'm getting over something that I never wanted to happen, and coming to an understanding that, even though I was never planning on getting back with either of my exes after we ended our marriage, there's still that part of letting go that hurts, and it's that part of letting go, or seeing someone let go. From your perspective, it seems like they let go so easily. That can hurt. It's always necessary to take the time to yourself, just to be back with yourself. And during that time, I had to be a little mop head. Had to put this mop in an updo, and but this is another one of those things that puts a stamp on the reason that I cannot go back to this workplace, is that I literally could not afford to look presentable. Who wants to work for a company that cannot pay them enough so that they can spend a little on themselves, so that they could look presentable and look good and feel good at work, so that they could do good? And so I was just grateful. I just had to, thank God for, because she could have said no. There could have been a reason that, she didn't respond. It could have been, but it wasn't. In the end, I got to get my hair done. I got to feel confident about my hair again, and not just put it up into some updo. This just goes to show that there are times where you definitely have to get out of your comfort zone. There are times where you definitely have to put your pride aside. There are times where you definitely have to take time for yourself. And there are always times where you need to consider other people's perspectives, because at the end of the day, it's not all about you. It's not all about me. We're all here on this planet together, whether we like it or not. And you may feel like you're experiencing something alone, just like someone thinks that they're experiencing a certain thought alone. But at the end of the day, we're all one. So someone out there is in a similar situation or transitioning into a simulation. What? What did she say? She's giving it away. She's giving away the secrets. Like I was saying, someone else out there is transitioning, stepping out of, the same situation or experience that I am. And the thing is, like, seeing her didn't bring up some old feelings. It didn't, bring me any, like, oh my gosh, like, there was no, like, checking her out or having, like, lustful moments or yearning for anything that one might do or have, I guess, like, if they're interested in someone. It was literally there for business, like seeing a family member that you hadn't seen in a while. It seemed very normal and ordinary. It was not any anxiety, like, going up there. In all reality, everything worked itself out. I ended up having a dentist appointment that morning, so my son was with his dad, and he ended up having an interview that morning, so my son was already at his brother's house, so I had to pick him up anyway. Why not get my hair done while I'm picking him up, So at the end of the day, it was just family being family. And if you're in a situation where you're no longer with the other parent of your kid or of your kids, depending on your situation, I mean, it can be very beneficial to be on the same page, to be in communication, whether, like, that's a day-to-day thing or whether it is, like, every once in a while. Like, I think it's important to be on good terms. Like, it's just beneficial. At the end of the day, there's no ill will, there's no animosity, there's no hate towards any of the three of us. And I love that, because that just means that we can still have doors open for both of our kids. And so, yeah, I texted my ex, not because I wanted to go back, but because I'm learning that healing doesn't always look like perfection, like sometimes it just looks like choosing peace within that moment. And sometimes the most healing parts of the journey is realizing you no longer feel the way you once felt, right? And that is growth at its finest, even if it comes in quiet, ordinary ways that you was not expecting to see or find. If you take anything from this video, let it be this: you don't need a grand return to your past to realize that you've outgrown it. Time apart does what it needs to do, and when you're ready to face it, you might just find that what once had a hold on you no longer does. So let me know down below in the comments if you've ever broken no contact. What did I say? There's always a siren going on while I'm trying to make a video. Like, every time, it never fails. Like, what do they be doing out there? What do they be doing out there? Like I was trying to say, let me know down below in the comments if you've ever broken no contact and realized that you've already grown way more than you thought surrounding the person that you were going no contact with. And if this video resonated with you, go ahead, give it a thumbs up for me so that YouTube knows to go ahead and show it to other people who might need to hear this. I appreciate you so much for spending this time with me, and as always, I see you and I love you. I'm sending you the greatest love. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.